This is a Fox News alert. A short time ago, President Trump pumped up supporters at his Make America Great Again rally in Ohio. This comes on the heels of a crucial victory on Capitol Hill, where the Senate voted to start debating Republican legislation to repeal and replace Obamacare. It was close, 51-50, with Vice President Mike Pence casting the breaking vote. The president praised today's progress in the Senate at his Buckeye State event.
Only a few hours ago, the Senate approved a vote to begin debating the repealing and replacing the Obamacare disaster. We're now one step closer to liberating our citizens from this Obamacare nightmare and delivering great health care for the American people. We're going to do that, too. I'm back in the center of the American heartland, far away from the Washington swamp, to spend time with thousands of true American patriots.
Yes. And the president had a stern warning to fellow Republicans.
Every Republican running for office promised to repeal and replace this disastrous law. Now they must keep their promise. The Senate is working not only to repeal Obamacare, but to deliver great health care for the American people. Any senator who votes against repeal and replace is telling America that they are fine with the Obamacare nightmare, and I predict they'll have a lot of problems.
All right, so that was the president today, feeling his roots, back with his supporters, feeling optimistic about the future. And what I have to say, I'm optimistic. Make the five great again. Welcome, right? Feast your eyes on this great panel tonight. Ed Henry, welcome.
I am so excited to be with everyone, especially Jesse.
He evokes that feeling. So what did you think today in terms of the president's remarks and where we are now in kind of the epicenter of all this?
He was in his element. I mean, he was, feeding off that crowd. And I think he was reframing this debate for the first time in a long time, which is that the Republicans have failed to frame this as Obamacare is failing. There are good parts of Obamacare that Republicans don't want to admit. A lot more people have been covered. But how do you pay for that? President Obama didn't really lay all that out. He also lied about, keep your plan, keep your doctor, and all of that. So we know that. But Republicans have allowed this to become a debate about how bad their bill is, when we don't even really know what they're going to wind up with, because it's going to be amended dozens and dozens of times. So to finally frame it as we are in trouble with Obamacare, it's falling apart, premiums are escalating, let's do something to move this forward, was smart on his part. And I think when he was feeding off that crowd, at certain points, he'd get the applause and would stop and just start wandering around like a prize fighter, and just reveling in this nervous energy. On a motion to proceed. Well, and it's different than the Rose Garden, though. Remember when the House passed, you're right, it was a big celebration and a song and dance, right? And they made a mistake on that early on. When the House passed the bill, this was the first round in that prize fight, and he was dancing in the end zone there in the Rose Garden a couple months back.
Where has this President Trump been? I mean, we have been waiting for President Trump to really push Obamacare repeal and replace for quite some time. Finally, once he gets his back against the wall, he finally comes out swinging. We could have used that in June. We could have used it in July. Now it's late July. He finally comes out swinging after it basically was up against the wall. But now, finally, he's putting pressure on senators. That's what you need to do. Because right now, he said it, it's death. Obamacare is death. It's in the death spiral. Everybody believes it. Everybody knows it. And we know the thing is failing. So Juan knows it.
No, I'm
It's not a good bill. They talked
to
about it in Virginia. There's people lining up for health care, and they don't have any health care. No one can give anybody health care. Premiums are skyrocketing.
Oh, my God.
Juan, the bill is a disaster.
Oh, my goodness.
No one likes it. Everybody wants to replace it, but these little, sassy senators, want the Medicare money. No, they want the Medicare money. That's the truth.
Medicaid.
They want the Medicaid money.
Don't help
One of those programs.
Same thing, different cousin,
Yeah, with some programs.
There are a lot of
squishy
Republican senators. They want the Medicaid money, and if they're going to give the Medicaid money, I don't know if they're going to get it, but the problem is health care is failing.
Kimberly, help him
And
out.
we're going to get a bill through.
Awesome.
He's struggling.
Awesome.
He's struggling.
Okay, back to winning. So, Dana, so what do you make of these? You all along have been saying that the president really needs to get out there. We talked about last night about going and campaigning in those different states where he's having problems with the senators to come forward to get the support. He's out there back with his base trying to get some, gen up some support, enthusiasm to get this done.
Yeah, to be visible on it was really important, and this speech might have been very different tonight if that motion to proceed had failed. But you had the amazing moment of Senator John McCain that came and basically gave a little talking to that everyone seemed to like.
Maverick.
So there's some questions about, the merits of these proposals going forward, but Senator Mitch McConnell also delivered. So there was some teamwork here that it was right up to the line, but they were able to get it across. And even Dean Heller, the senator from Nevada, who had been very much against moving forward, decided to vote with the majority. And I think that when the president had that meeting, when he called all the senators to the White House, and they're having the lunch, and he said, if you can't even vote to actually have a conversation about this, then this is a big problem. And I think that they realized they were all going to be in deep trouble. And I also think it's time just to have this debate. There's enough time, they've spent enough time talking around the edges. Now they'll go forward and they'll have lots of amendments and see what they come up with at the end.
They had all the ingredients. Now let's make some jam, shall we? So Dana predicted, I love jam, almost more than salami. So here's the thing. Dana predicted, and she said that she thought that they would get the votes, at least procedurally, to go forward. And like she said, to have the conversation at least to get this done, because they've been complaining about Obamacare and the fact that they wanted to do something about it. So now is the time.
Yeah, well, debate what? We still don't know what. So you're basically buying lock, stock, and barrel like an empty vessel and saying, oh, yeah, let's have this debate. So,
no, they know what all the ingredients
are. Do you think that Republicans right now know what's in the bill they'll debate? Answer, no. But they say that. Do you know that John McCain today, who dramatically reappeared, said he would never vote for any of the bills that are on the floor right now? So you have people like Rob Portman out of Ohio, Dean Heller, mentioned earlier, out of Nevada, Rand Paul, Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia.
What's your point, Juan?
They will never vote for any of the bills that are currently there, amendments.
But that was their point.
This is really an empty act.
What do you mean? You don't think that they'll vote for it if it doesn't get amended in a way that they like?
No, they will not vote for it, is my point.
Even if it's amended in a way that they
because then look, the dynamic here is evident that if you amend it in a way as to appeal to more conservative elements in the party, you're going to lose more moderate elements in the party. You do the opposite, the moderates, the conservatives fall away. So that's what we're up against.
But Kimberly, that's an even more important reason than for President Trump to keep doing what he's doing.
Well, but for what? If he had gotten involved, at this point, Dana, the best you can say is,
but you're saying that he's good at what he does, that he's good at getting support out there, and that's what he's doing. We would have liked to see more of this
Republicans right now on Capitol Hill, they said, you know what? He really doesn't know the details. He doesn't know anything about health care. We don't want him in it, but we could use him out there pushing it, using his Twitter account alike. So he's out there. But even in the speech today...
So you like the Twitter account.
Right, and by the way,
I'm saying
they certainly liked him helping them to get reelected and getting their seats.
How many of those Republicans won by larger margins than Trump? I think most of them.
Fear Trump on the stump. Is that what you're saying?
No, in fact, today, you know what I was struck by? I watched the speech in Ohio.
That's what it sounds like to me.
I think he embarrassed himself in front of the Boy Scouts yesterday, politicizing the jamboree. Well, but I will say this today there's total devastation in Europe. There's murder in Chicago. The Founding Fathers would protect industries. What industries were around?
Wait, so there's murder in Chicago run by a Democratic mayor. Whose fault is that?
What about the
Doesn't Donald Trump want to send in the National Guard to protect these people?
Let me tell you. And you know what he said about immigrants, Jesse? They're slicing and dicing 15-year-old girls.
That's another block and another show.